Are you nervous about making your first real estate investment? I was really nervous too. In fact, I was so nervous about making a mistake in our first investment that I didn't even want to take a loan on the house. I bought our first property for all cash. It was a property that needed a lot of repairs, but I was too scared to take a mortgage on our first property, thinking that if I made a mistake, I could sell the house and not have to worry about paying back the bank on it. My name's Kate Lynch. I'm a successful real estate investor in Cleveland, Ohio. We currently manage 17 Airbnbs, and over the last 5 years, we started from zero real estate and acquired 9 investment properties, plus our home that we live in. And over that 5 years, we've generated enough income from real estate in order to pay our bills and not have to work a day job. So the first house that we bought was a triplex in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. I picked that house because I love so many things about it. It has huge bay windows that bring in a lot of natural light, and it has gorgeous hardwood floors and spacious rooms that made me feel like I would love to live in that house. Unfortunately, the house also needed a fair amount of renovation work. We had to refinish those hardwood floors, which is relatively expensive. When we first bought the house, we had an inspection done, but the inspector missed a lot of things that ended up needing attention over the next couple of months. The biggest problem that we had with this house was a potential problem with the front porches. It may not seem like a front porch is a big problem for a house, but what we discovered was over time, as some of the wood on the front porches deteriorated, rather than replace rotting wood, the former owners just put new wood on top of that. So when my husband went there with a construction crew to try to fix the problems that he could see on the front porches, they pulled back the wood that they were planning to, where they were planning to make repairs, and they found that underneath it was terribly rotted wood. And he was worried the day he did that the whole roof was going to collapse and bring the entire house down, given how bad the damage was. Luckily, he was able to quickly stabilize the 3-story roof on the front of this house and make the repairs that we needed. The purchase price of the house was around $180,000, and we spent about $120,000 in total on renovations, so that the total cost of acquiring that house was around $300,000, which was the going rate at the time for ready to rent triplexes in the area. Once we got the house renovated and ready to rent, I listed it on Airbnb and started generating income. And then I reached out to some local banks to see if they would then be willing to put a loan on the house, and so we could take some cash out from that investment. We were able to refi out and take around $172,000 out of the house in cash, so that our net cash staying in the investment was $128,000. In the $120,000 that I call renovations, I actually have the furnishings included. So that was around $50,000. If I had not furnished the house myself, our total investment in the house would have been closer to $250,000. After the renovations were complete and the house was furnished and we put it on Airbnb, we did reach out to a bank to get a loan on the house in order to take some of that cash out, since we didn't really want to have $300,000 sitting in the investment long term. We were able to take out $171,500 from a bank, leaving $128,500 as our net cash investment in the house, on which we would be hoping to generate a good return. We bought the house in July of 2021, and we finally got it rented on Airbnb in November of that year. So we got it rented just in time for Thanksgiving. And in the following 3 years, 2023, and 2024, we averaged about $30,000 of profit. That's cash flow after all expenses, including principal payments on the house. So the $30,000 of positive cash flow on the $128,500 investment that we held in the house generates a 23.3% annual rate of return over the 3 years after we acquired the home. That's, in my opinion, a phenomenal return. Certainly there are years when the stock market returns a 15 to 20% return, and there are years when it does that consistently. But having control over the property and also having that cash flow coming in every month for us made it a more attractive investment to us than even having money in the stock market if it was returning a 15 to 20% return. Although ultimately, obviously, the returns on the stock market, I would say, are far less predictable than the kind of returns you get on real estate. And so we are very pleased that we took money out of the stock market in order to put into this real estate investment. And I'm particularly pleased with this given the fact that it was our very first real estate investment, and a 23% cash on cash return is a really, really big win. And on top of that, obviously the cash flow on a house is not your only source of returns. In real estate investing, you also get value from the fact that paying down your mortgage requires cash. You're capturing value from increasing your equity in the house every month when you make those principal payments. We've only had this house for just a little over 4 years now. So over that time frame, we've paid down $10,000 of principal. And if you look at similar houses that have sold recently in the Cleveland Heights area, it looks like they're selling for around $330,000. So given the fact that we were all in, our cost of getting this house going was about $300,000. I would say we have about $30,000 of appreciation value. Note that, again, I'm including our furnishing expenses in the total cost of owning this home. Typically, you don't include furniture in the acquisition cost, so that would imply that the appreciation has been greater than that. But we couldn't generate the $30,000 of positive cash flow without having made the $50,000 of furnishing costs. So ultimately, looking at it as an investor, I say that we've only captured about $30,000 of appreciation above what we spent on the home. So the principal pay down plus the appreciation, I ballpark at around $40,000 over those years, which obviously enhances the total return. And in addition, we've taken a significant amount of tax benefits from taking depreciation on this house and using that to offset income that was coming in from other sources. So our all-in return on this house is in the 25 to 30% annual rate of return, which is, I think, a phenomenal rate of return. I'm very happy with it. And even more so, I'm pleased to know that an investment that I was incredibly scared to make early on turned into such a home run over the long term. I think that all of us, when we start getting into real estate, are nervous that we're going to make the wrong decision, pick the wrong house, make a mistake with renovations. But if you do your homework and you study what other similar investments are doing in terms of how much income they can generate, and you just assume that you can get something similar to what others are doing, you can generate tremendous returns with real estate. And I'm a big fan. This was just our first investment. We've done a number since then that we'll share with you later. But we hope you enjoyed hearing the numbers on our first property, and we hope this motivates you to try to do some investing yourself if you haven't already started investing in real estate. If you enjoy this kind of content, please subscribe to our channel, and we'll continue putting out this kind of information to help you on your real estate investing journey.